On the 13th of October 2021, at about 9 o'clock at night, a police officer came into class where I was teaching and informed me that my car, shown here, had been involved in an accident. I canceled class and went out to take a look and to look at the damages, which you can see pictured here, which turned out to not be quite as extensive as they appeared. But as you can see, there was some damage. So I collected some quotes and submitted a claim, and I only asked for, despite these very high totals, the total sum of parts. So you can imagine my surprise when today I was notified that my claim has been denied, and because there's a contract between the landscaping company and that I should pursue a claim against them. And I complained about how long it had taken, because you can see it's been a long time. And I was notified by an individual from the Attorney General's office that, oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's see here. How do I open this back up? Oh, it's probably up here. So if you disagree, you can file a lawsuit against us. And we all know the likelihood of my winning a lawsuit against the state of Nevada. And the reason I bring this up, and the reason I'm putting this out here, is because elected officials are supposed to be public servants. They are supposed to look out for the people. Instead, what it seems is that the Attorney General is looking for a way to protect himself. And the great irony is, this isn't even his money. The Attorney General, Aaron Ford, the incumbent first-term Democrat, is running for re-election this year, and it isn't even his money. I'm not sure exactly where the money for the budget comes from per se, but I know that some of it comes from property taxes, a lot of it comes from mining taxes, and the rest of it comes from casinos and tourism. So it isn't even his money. And remember how much I asked for? $2,868. How much is your re-election worth, Mr. Ford? Do you want to get reelected? Because this is not serving the public, and this is not service to the public. This is passing the buck. And in an election year, you have to wonder, what is your reelection worth? So for those of you who are wondering who to vote for Attorney General, I recommend against Aaron Ford, because this is just another example of politicians doing everything possible to not do their job, which is to look after the people they ostensibly represent. Remember, this damage occurred on campus during working hours. The police came in and pulled me out of class to go and inform me that this had happened. This is where I've parked in this same vicinity every day for years. Sometimes I still park there, not right now because there's obviously no shade anymore. This was also the only tree they didn't trim when they were trimming trees. So if I hadn't been here at work, this wouldn't have happened. So this was done because I was supposed to be at work. I was at work doing my job. Where is the responsibility of the government to take care of its own employees, let alone the citizens of this state? Instead, they've passed the buck to a private business. And I'm not sure that that's really the way to go. It seems pretty tacky. And I thought you ought to know. So I recommend against Aaron Ford for Attorney General, and this is why. And if instead he had paid me, he might have gotten an endorsement. Instead, he gets this, and I think it's well earned. Anyway, when you're parking in Nevada, I guess what we've learned is to don't worry about parking in the shade, because if you park in the shade and a tree falls on your car, you might have to eat the cost of repair yourself. In interest of full disclosure, I did pay to fix the car. The car is running. I still drive it, but I have paid for it out of my own pocket. And I didn't even ask for everything that it would have taken to get it back on the road. It just took a lot of time to get the parts and get them together. So Anyway, I can't believe that that in a state like this they're going to be that cheapskate and not give me not even make an offer. They're not going to give me a damn thing. And you ought to know how the Attorney General regards you, and that if you don't like what they say, you can sue the state. Well, that's not worth the money I would get out of this, and I think that's what they're counting on. So because you're not rich, because it's not worth it, the time and the money and the effort, they think they're going to get away with it. And I think we should hold them accountable at the ballot box in November, assuming he makes it through the primary, if he's being primaried. I don't know. But I'm not pleased, and I think the clearest way to send a message is to vote him out, because that's really the only thing I can do. It's the easiest thing I can do, and it won't cost me or you a dime. Anyway, watch your own backs. Be careful where you park. Save money for a rainy day. And never, ever, 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 ever expect a politician to look out for you, because they've found every excuse possible every time I've needed them to look out for themselves and overlook me. And if you got a different experience, that's great. If not, caveat emptor. And remember that your vote may count. At least this election, you can make a difference. So I'll be voting for whoever's running against Aaron Ford, to send a message that I'm not happy, because I don't know any other way to express my discontent or to get a redress of grievances, because filing in court, the amount of money it would cost me to file makes this a waste. So I guess I'll just have to eat it, which will be hard because I've also lost some teeth. Anyway, take care of yourselves, and if you can help out other people, I'm not asking for help. I have the money, but it's not what I was planning on using it for. In fact, I'll be using the money I was making that night teaching an overtime class to pay for the car, which is not exactly what I was expecting to spend it on. So vote wisely, vote well, and vote your conscience, because some people don't seem to have one. Good night.